Good afternoon, students. Myself, Dr. Haribhau Vaghere, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Maharaja Jivajirao Shinde Mahavidyalaya, Srigonda District, Ahmednagar. The main aim of this video is only for educational purpose. If you want to see more videos of FYBSc and SYBSc, please visit to Dr. Vaghere's Biology channel and our college website also. The knowledge bank is there, and in that knowledge bank we can see different videos of this BSc, FY and SYBSc for botany syllabus. And the last video of our SYBSc, we have started the chapter number 4, that is transpiration. In that transpiration, we have completed the definition of the transpiration, different types of the transpiration, that is cuticular transpiration, lenticular transpiration. In this way we have studied different types of transpiration. After that transpiration, we have discussed some points about the anti-transpirants. And what is anti-transpirant? That is the main point. In this today's video, we are going to learn about the important part, that is anti-transpirant. Before starting the anti-transpirant, what is the definition of the anti-transpirant, or what is the actual, what is this concept is about? And we know that the water used by plants is very efficient, and the loss of water through transpiration is enormous. The water absorbs more water from the soil, and all that water are not utilized by the plants, and about 99% of the water absorbed is lost through plant surfaces during transpiration. And of all the resources that plants needs to grow and functions, water is the most abundant, we know that, and at the same time the most limiting for agricultural productivity. It is a required, the must water is there. If there is no water, there is no crop productivity, or very less productivity is there. And in fact, the water is limiting is the reason for the practice of the crop irrigation. There is a limited water for our irrigation purpose. We have not sufficient water is also not there. At the time of irrigation, we know that there is a less amount of water is found on the earth for the crop, and our irrigational facilities are practically inadequate. Our irrigational facility is not completely or sufficient. Under these prevailing conditions, if we are able to reduce the transpirational loss of water even to smaller extent, if we are trying to face that problem, or we are able to reduce the transpirational loss of the water, it will prove to be a boon to our agriculture, and it will increase the agricultural productivity also. And use of anti-transpirants is an artificial method retarding the rate of transpiration without adversely affecting exchange of gases. There is no any adverse effect on the exchange of gases. It may be carbon dioxide, it may be oxygen. Then what is the actual definition of this anti-transpirants? An anti-transpirant is any material, any type of material which is applied to plants, that is applied to plants for the purpose of retarding transpiration. means that are the material which is used to retard the transpiration or purpose of retarding the transpiration. Then which are the common antitranspirants? The common used antitranspirants may be categorized into 3 groups, into different groups, 3 groups. First group is that, first group includes colorless plastics. We use colorless plastics, silicone oils and low viscosity waxes. They form thin film on the lip surface which is permeable to carbon dioxide or oxygen, but not to water. It is permeable to carbon dioxide and oxygen, but not to water. That is the main important characteristic features of that foil. Then what about group second? Group second includes substances which brings about partial closure of the stomata when sprayed on the leaves. We are going to spray that anti-transpirant on the leaves, and that spray causes the inhibition on the stomata, and there is a partially closing of the stomata is there. Stomata plays very vital role in the transpiration. Most of the water loss takes place through the stomata, and there is a partial closing of the stomata by this second group. And they are metabolic inhibitors also and prevent the complete opening of the stomata also. Example, fungicides, phenyl mercuric acetate, that is PMA. It is a foliar spray at about 10 to 4 molar concentration, brings about partial closure of the stomata for about 2 weeks. It inhibits for 2 weeks or more than that 2 weeks, and has a little toxic effect on the leaves. There is a less or little toxic effect. It is not very harmful. Then the application of phytohormone, another important antitranspirant, that is abscisic acid, ABA. That is also effectively brings about the closure of stomata, but the effect lasts for few hours. The effect of PMA is for 2 weeks, but the effect of ABA, that is abscisic acid, is only for few hours. And what about group third? That are the group, in that group, see we have stomata are very sensitive to ambient carbon dioxide concentration. Raising the concentration of carbon dioxide from natural, that is from 0.03% to 0.05%, it induces the partial closure of the stomata. What it induces? The partial closing of the stomata. And if the increase the concentration also inhibit the photoperiodism or phytorespiration, then high concentration of carbon dioxide causes complete closure of the stomata. If there is a high concentration of carbon dioxide, what happens? There is a closure of the stomata. At present, however, enrichment of the ambient atmosphere with carbon dioxide is economically and practically feasible only in glass or polyhouse conditions. We know that glass house, the house is made up of glass. Polyhouse, that house is made up of polyester. Okay. Then the success of antitranspirant of the stomatal closure type is based on the fact that partial closure of stomata reduces the transpiration relatively more than that of photosynthesis, net photosynthesis. However, in many cases, what happen? In many cases, the use of antitranspirant is limited. In some cases, there is a limited antitranspirant use of antitranspirant. Why? Because many of them interfere in the gaseous exchange of gaseous exchange. They are interfering in gaseous exchange or damage to the tissue or retard the metabolism, and therefore the use of anti-transparent is limited in some cases. It damages the tissue, it retards the metabolism, and it interferes the gaseous exchange also. And what is the definition of anti-transparent? There is an effect, but that effect is not on the exchange of gases, not effect on the stomata. In this way, an ideal transparent should have following different characteristic features. Which are different following characteristic features? The ideal anti-transparent should be non-toxic to the plant. It should be not toxic. There is no any adverse effect on the plant tissues, not toxic to the plant. Then it should not cause permanent damage to stomatal apparatus. There should be not a damage, permanent damage to the stomatal apparatus. It may be guard cells, it may be stomata. Then it should specifically affect guard cells and not the other cells. It can be affect to the guard cell, but not for other cells. And it should be cheap, that is very important. It should be cheap and easily available in the market. That anti-transparent should be easily available in the market. Then what is the use of anti-transparent? What are the applications? Anti-transparents can be used in several aspects of agriculture and horticulture purposes. First is the crop, field crops. To overcome wilting of crop plants due to scarcity of water or irrigational supply of water, aerial foliar sprays of anti-transparent can be used. Another point is that transport of seedlings, when we are going to transport the seedlings from one place to another place, we can use the anti-transparents. In the transport of seedlings of fruit and other horticultural crops or ornamental plants over long distance, use of anti-transparents prevents damage due to excessive transpirations. It prevents the damage of that tissue, and we can use that anti-transparent. Then fruit cracking, we know that the nature, there is always fluctuations in the natural conditions. Sometimes there is a heavy rain, sometimes there is a heavy wind, and due to this climatic changes, the adverse effect of that condition, natural climatic conditions on the fruits, and therefore cracking of fruit takes place, and to prevent that cracking of the fruit, anti-transparent should be used. Sporadic or sudden rainfall causes cracking of fruits. If there is a sudden rainfall or continuous rainfall for 2 to 5 days, then there is a very loss of the farmers in agriculture crops. And therefore, anti-transparents may help to reduce the water absorption by fruits during rainfall and thus save them from cracking. And when we spray that before the rain, then there is a more chances of cracking of the fruits. Then use of floriculture, that anti-transparents are always used in floriculture. Use of anti-transparent is more feasible in case of plants used in floriculture, particularly under polyhouse conditions, greenhouse conditions. Then spraying of anti-transparent increase the waste life of cut flowers, life of the flowers, cut flowers. आपण एकदा फूल जर तोडलं तर काय होतं, ते एका तासा 2 तासामध्ये ते कोमेजून जातं, ड्राय होतं. And to avoid that dryness, there should be use of anti-transparents. Cut flowers and prevent damage to delicate plants. It is useful in transport of the delicate plants from one place to another place. Then lawn development, we know that in garden there is a different types of lawns are there, and to develop the lawn or to maintain the lawn, the anti-transparent plays very vital role. Anti-transparents can be sprayed on leaves to prevent the grass from drying, especially during water scarcity or when the owner wants to go out of the station for longer periods. And the owner, they are out of station for 15 days, the grass will be dry and all the show will be damaged. And therefore, to overcome this problem, you should be use the anti-transparents. And how many important part is there? In this way, in this small video, we have learned about the applications of anti-transparent, definition of anti-transparents, then different properties of anti-transparents, types of anti-transparents, that is field forming physical barrier, stomatal inhibitors, and there are applications of transparents. They are usually in the stress tolerant chemicals, used in floriculture, used in ornamental plant management. We are always use different ornamental plants, and to manage that plants we are using different anti-transparents, used in lawn management. Lawn is a very important part of the garden or in front of our house construction. Then to prevent fruit cracking also, we know that there is always fluctuations in the climatic or climate change always, and to overcome that problem, to prevent the fruit cracking, the anti-transparent plays a very vital role. And transport of seedlings, when we are going to transport seedlings from one place to another place, the anti-transparent plays very vital role. Thanking you for watching this video.